Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Drop a Stitch podcast.
I'm your host, Natalie.
And I'm your other host, Danny.
And today, on our 7th episode of the Market 101 series, we're talking about what you need to do before the market.
And as before, we mean the day before, couple days before.
Yes,
or
not
literally
like
the day
creating stock that we've already talked about or whatever, but more so like in the days leading up to the market.
Yeah.
What you need to do.
But first,
how was your week?
It was great. I don't even remember what I did this week.
I was like, the way that you said that, I was like, you just realized that you don't know what you did.
I don't remember what I did.
Okay, so many things. Let's just start with today.
Okay, so today is different because this is the start of the new week.
Okay, wait. You gotta start with...
Holy shit. I'm sorry. I need to say that.
Wait. You got to start with updates from last week. Last week when we told everyone that you were going to take your test, your English test.
Yes. So I was going to take my English test.
For your citizenship.
And I did it. And it was easier / harder than what I thought. It was easier, the overall test, than what I was expecting, but there was one specific part, the reading one, that I was not expecting it to be hard.
And it was harder than you thought.
Yes. So I think that I have undiagnosed or self-diagnosed ADHD. Mm-hmm. And I just could not concentrate because it was so boring. The text, it was so long. The article was so long, and it was really, 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 really boring, the reading. So I could not. But to be super boring, my score was a 7 out of 12. So I'm like, okay, if I got half of it or more than half,
That's pretty good.
That's pretty good. And the other ones were better because I got 9, and 10 out of 12. So that's good.
That's really good.
It is.
So you have a passing grade?
Yeah, I passed my English test and I only needed a 4. So
you did really well.
Yeah, I'm really, really happy. So I submitted my application already and I am on the way to be a citizen. So that's exciting.
Very exciting.
Then I only have to I have to take the citizenship test. That's going to be not hard. I've been watching videos and people are saying that the videos are way harder than the actual test. So,
Should be fairly.
Yeah. There are some questions that are so silly and common sense that I'm like praying that I get those questions. I'm like, can you please ask me that?
Yeah. I mean, those are the questions that trip up some of the people.
Yeah.
Because it's too easy. It must be something else.
Yeah.
You
know? I know. But for example, one of the questions that I was practicing said something like, the Canadian citizen obligations are to obey the law and to vote. That's the correct answer. But then the other alternatives were to recycle. You know what I mean? So
to say sorry at everything and to use the word a.
So I was like, I think you have to recycle. Just kidding. Oh, but yeah, it's just funny because I'm like, please give me those questions. I'll be so happy.
And in bigger news,
you guys remember that this is all related to, oh my gosh, sorry, wait, let me adjust. I think I was being way too loud, and I'm sorry for those few minutes that I was screaming in your ear. I'm hoping that the volume is better now. So the next big news is related to what we're talking about now, the markets. I got into the one-of-a-kind market in Toronto.
The big 11-day one that she applied. Yeah. And was so stressed about. She obviously got in.
I am freaking out. Natalie, okay, so let me tell you a little recap of today. So this morning, I was up super early and I was checking my email at 6 in the morning, which nothing's going to happen at 6 in the morning, but I was checking my email. And then around 9-ish, I seen their stories on their Instagram, and they were saying we're celebrating to the people that got accepted today and blah blah blah. And so a couple people were commenting on that post saying like, oh my gosh, I'm so happy that I got in, and yada yada yada. And then they were posting on their stories, and the one of a kind people were reposting. And I was like, oh, okay, I didn't get in, I didn't get the email or anything, so I was like, okay, you know, it's fine. And I was telling Kale that I was feeling like 50-50, like 50% I really wanted to get in, and then the other 50% was like, you know what, I feel very relieved because it's not such a big pressure, and now I can make stock for my other markets, and you know, like I can focus on other things too. So I was like with that 50-50, and I was like, okay, I didn't get in, and I kind of felt a little bit relieved. I was like, you know, feeling like, okay, now I can just enjoy more and prepare, not in like a super quick pace. And then they kept posting and reposting stories, so I was like, okay, it's fine. And then I don't know, like 20 minutes later, I got the email, and I was literally, Natalie, for 5 minutes like this with my hand on my mouth,
Oh
like,
my God. What have
in
I
shock.
done?
Yes, that's exactly what I thought. I was like, holy shit, what did I got myself into? Like, I could not believe it. And then when I read that I was accepted for the 11 days, I was like, holy shit. Like, I was in complete shock. But now I'm
I'm
happy.
not surprised. I knew you would get in.
Now I'm happy. I'm really, really happy. I'm just freaking out.
Yeah. Guys, her freaking out is, oh my God, I'm never going to have time to make all the stock I need. Girl, you have 6 months.
I know.
And then the next thing she says, but I still want to do all the markets here. And I'm like, okay, either you freak out about making stock, or you join all the markets. And then, like, you can't have it both ways.
I know. I'm a little bit greedy. But it's because I love the markets, and I'm so comfortable with the markets in here. I do this 613 free,
like
and
automatic.
I'm just,
you don't have to think about anything.
So exactly. So I really, really want to do that, and the Etsy markets too. But we'll see. You know, if they don't, if they're not in the same at the same time, we'll see how that goes. But I'm super excited. I got into the market, and I'm going to talk about it in my channel and my Instagram, and I'm gonna be vlogging as well, because I'm probably not gonna be able to post as many patterns as I would like to. And but I'm going to be vlogging all the behind the scenes of everything that I'm making, what items I'm bringing, and the displays, and you know, like a lot of things I'm gonna be posting on my channel, so you guys can watch that if you're interested. But now, that's been a lot of me. What is going on with your life?
Oh, with my life is
The past week.
Yeah, things are going good. We're making progress with the house. That's all we're doing right now.
Yeah.
We're trying so hard to finish this house before baby comes so we can move. I mean, it's going well. There's still a lot to do, but it's going well.
Good.
The whole main floor is framed now, so everything
Nice.
that needed to be framed in the main floor, except for like one tiny wall, which is like a detail thing, is done. So that's really good. Like, we did the built-in for the fireplace,
Nice.
and the TV, and we moved the basement stairs and did all that. So that's great. It feels like we're going somewhere. Like,
Nice.
it more and more now. Like, it's like, okay, it's looking like a house. Like, it's starting to come together. So that's very encouraging. And then Eric's house had sold, and so I don't think I talked about this on the podcast, but anyways, he still had a house that he had up for sale, and it's finally sold, and we moved everything, and that's all done.
Nice.
And so now we get to focus on just one house instead of having multiple to deal with.
Yeah.
So that's really good on its own.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's been my week. I went and over the weekend I went shopping in the States, because if you're from the States, you guys should know you have much better yarn and access to things than we do here in Canada, unfortunately for us. And so, again, she just ripped her yarn again.
I don't know if you could hear that, but that was my yarn.
The burnout blanket is great until you try to tighten the magic knot in the center and it snaps on you.
Oh, the worst one is the Michaels.
I know. The Michaels kind is the worst.
Yeah.
Actually, I find like the Walmart one pretty good for that.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh.
It's held up well.
I'm gonna try it.
I've only used it like twice, but so far it's held up well. But yeah, so we did that, and then I went to the States this weekend to do a little bit of shopping, so that was fun. Because you guys have Hue and Me in all the colors in stores. We have Hue and Me at Walmart, but they're never in stock, and there's like 2 colors, 3 colors.
Yeah.
There's really nothing. And so I was able to find, if you're watching on YouTube, I'm working on my rainbow blanket. I'm currently assembling it.
It looks so beautiful, you guys. Oh my gosh.
I'm in love with it. I can't wait to finish it. It's getting close now. And so because it's a little bit, like it has pinks in it, I wanted to find different colorways to suggest colorways in the pattern. It's obviously like, we'll see how it turns out, but it's supposed to be like a crib size blanket. And so I
think it's going to be bigger than that.
Well, it should be like a full, like cover everything kind of crib size, not like a swaddle kind of blanket.
Yeah, no, that's perfect.
But, so I wanted to find different colorways that were more neutral, more little boy-ish without the pink. And so had fun doing that in the aisles of Joann's. And
how much was it?
What?
The yarn.
The Hue and Me?
Yeah.
It wasn't on sale this time. I forget how much it was. I didn't buy any because it wasn't on sale. I just picked colorways.
Oh, okay.
That I liked, because I don't like picking colorways online because you may end up with a really bright orange. And so
she's making fun of me because I ordered yarn from Lion Brand, and I thought that I got a very nice burnt orange, and it's very bright, pumpkin.
Orange. And so that's why I don't like it. And if I'm suggesting it in the pattern and I'm not actually using it, I won't know what it looks like.
Yeah.
Until someone makes it, and I'm like, oh, did I suggest that?
Yeah.
And so in store, since they had all the yarn, I was able to kind of play around with them and come up with a few different colorways that look really good together.
Nice.
So I'll be able to include. So we did that. And then, yeah.
One day, whenever I have time, I want to make it for Isa.
Yes.
I'm working on my Granny Squares blanket. So I'm done with 3 out of the 4 colors. No, that's not true.
Liar pants on fire.
Huh?
Liar,
yeah. No, I need to make 2 more of the
yellow,
and then I need the bluish,
the aqua.
And
so that's it, right? You only have the 4 colors.
Yeah, and they work up fast. I just been all over the place lately, but now I can't afford to be all over the place. I need to be focused and use my time, because right now and until the end of the year, my time is gold.
Yes, this is how I feel until baby comes.
Yeah.
You now have the same stress as me, but yours is yarn related. Mine is house related.
Yeah. So that's what I'm working on. So nice. That was our recap. And before we get into the episode, remember that you can email us your questions and also stories or whatever you want to tell us at
Drop a Stitch podcast at gmail.com.
Yes.
I was not expecting for you to make me say it.
So, we're going to start saying that at the beginning in case you don't hear or you don't listen until the end, which you should, but just in case. And, we also opened, and I think I mentioned this before, but we opened a Buy Me a Coffee. We do these for fun, but we would love if you guys can support us. So if you love the podcast and you want to support our podcast, you can buy us a coffee. The link is in the description.
Yes.
And so now let's get into today's episode.
Yes, the days leading to the market. So go ahead, take it away.
Okay, so the first thing you have to have is all your setup stuff. We already went through that in the last episodes. Now that you figured out and you played at home and you did your little setup, to make sure that everything is good, make sure you have everything. Like everything. Your crates, your lights, your signs, your baskets. What else? Your money box.
Yeah. Make yourself, I keep a list on my phone in my notes app of everything that I need to do my market. And I highly suggest, as you're setting up your booth, everything that you and by setting up your booth, I mean trying it at home. Because you should have your whole booth set up, tried at home before you get to the market, so that you don't get there and then scramble and then things don't look the way you want and then you didn't bring whatever other extra thing you could have used and whatever. So in the last few episodes, we were talking about everything that you need. And so once you have all that, it's very important that you set it up. And this is going to be valuable to anyone. It's not just if it's your first year doing market or if it's your first market, because not every single market has the same booth set up. At some market, you may have a 10 by 10 space. Some market, you may have a 6 by 10 space. And so you can't do the same thing. And even if you're in the center of an aisle or if you're on a corner, you might want to change your setup. So I highly recommend you kind of build your setup in your own home.
And take a picture.
So that you remember where you'd put everything.
It's going to make your life so much easier.
Yes, because the morning of the market, you're going to be stressed. You're going to have so many things to think about. This is not what you're going to be thinking about. And so if you have a picture, you can just easily refer to. And if you have help, whoever's helping you can also refer to. It's so much more helpful than if you're trying to do everything and scrambling and rushing around and whatever. And so you should set up your market booth at home the day before and then make a list of everything that you're using for your booth at the same time. And keep that on your phone or a paper or wherever is easiest for you. And so that you can bring it with you so that when you're at when you're packing up the day before the market, you can make sure everything on your list is there.
Yeah.
Because how annoying would it be to forget your mirrors at home or a mannequin head to display everything, So doing that will be super helpful in that. And then you can make sure you have everything with you.
Yeah. So once you have all this stuff ready, like Natalie was saying, things that are helpful for us, for me, for the markets is number one, having a dolly. That is huge, especially if you're using bins to bring your stuff. So I'm going to quickly jump to my next point that for me...
But wait, before you do that.
What?
When she means a dolly, she doesn't mean your typical moving dolly that's
that's just
tall. They sell foldable dollies, and so it's kind of like a platform, and it has the handle, and you can fold the handle down, so it doesn't take up much room in your car or truck or whatever. And it's actually great because it's a platform. It's not just a tiny little thing to lift a fridge kind of thing. It's a whole platform, so you can put a bunch of bins or a bunch of crates of decor, a table or whatever. I can pretty much I think typically with those kind of dollies you can do 2 or 3 trips and have pretty much your whole booth brought in 2 or 3 trips on those dollies. And they're not super expensive if you shop around, and they have a bunch of different sizes of them and different weight loads.
Where, Rona?
I got mine from Princess Auto.
Oh, okay.
But yes, Rona home improvement stores would have, Canadian Tire would have, anywhere
Home
that.
Depot.
Walmart, wherever.
And Amazon.
Amazon, yes, that too. And they have different sizes and different weight allowances. But I mean, if you're doing knitwear, your stuff isn't very heavy, so the weight doesn't really matter. It's more the size that fits in your car. So I got the smallest one. I think it can hold 300 pounds, which is ridiculous. I'm not going to need to bring 300 pounds at a time.
Will you?
Or will I? So yes, foldable dollies is what we mean.
Yeah.
And then yes, the next point,
Is
very important one.
Yes, so it's the bins where you bring your stuff. So the past, I think, 2 or 3 markets, I switched from the bins to bags. I got the bags of Amazon. I think they are like moving bags. They are like the IKEA material, like the blue ones.
Yes.
That it's
like the blue IKEA bags, you mean?
Yeah, it's like that material. I got them off Amazon and they are big, big, big. They're super sturdy, so I can put all my hats and everything inside, and you can put a lot of things inside and it's not going to rip or anything. And to me, that works best because I usually tend to bring a lot of stock, a lot of things, and sometimes I won't have enough space under my table to store all the bins. And I don't want to be bringing them back to the car because sometimes I'm parked far. And the bags, it's great because once you have all your items out, then you can just fold the bag and put it away.
Yes.
And then the same whenever you are tearing down and packing up all your stuff, you just take the bag and shove everything in there. And once I get home, then I switch to bins. But for the market, I really, really like the bags. Also, it's easier to put in your car if you have a smaller car. The square, the bin, it's already one size, so you won't be able to kind of like shove it in there. It's gonna break. But the bags, it's easier to kind of push it a little bit. You're making things that are soft and nothing's gonna happen. So I can squish it a little bit.
Yeah, you can squish it in different like nooks and crannies of your car rather than a bin like takes up a whole space.
Yeah.
Also, I do this as well. I have like 1 or 2 bins that are like my main bins of things like that are not as squishy.
Yeah.
And then I have. And those bags, what's fun with them too is that you can put a label on them and have like, this is hats, this is headbands, this is whatever. And so if you're looking for extra stock, they're easy to find under your table.
Yeah.
If you're, and like Danny was saying, once you're done and you don't, like you've set up everything, if your bag is empty, you can just fold it so it takes no space. And if you sell a bunch at the market, then it's, 1 bag less that you have to bring back.
Yeah.
And so it makes it really convenient. And they have a bunch of different sizes of these bags too. I got mine at IKEA.
Yeah, I got some at IKEA too.
Yeah. And so they have a few different types and sizes and stuff. They like just the kind of bags that you can put under the bed. I think that's what they call them.
Yeah.
Like I think one of the ones I got, the smaller ones, is like a shoe bag. So it's supposed to be to store 1 pair of shoe.
Okay.
But it's big enough. Like I can put a bunch of headbands in it and I can put a bunch of baby hats.
Yeah.
And so it was nice to keep like different sizes of things organized. And so I got those. I got some bigger ones. And it's just honestly it's not ideal to store at home.
No.
Because they don't pile up on each other very well like a bin would. But for markets, it's a game changer compared to bins.
Yeah.
I have a tiny little car, so bins would not have worked for me. But with those, I was able to bring everything in my car.
Yeah. I remember I bought them last year off of Amazon. They come with labels and everything, and yeah, they're just so much easier because I used to have tons of bins and then I couldn't fit them all under my table, and then I would have to move 1 bin to get the other bin, and then if I didn't have enough space, I would have to pile them in the back and they look ugly. So like bags is a game changer. And try to get the sturdy big ones at IKEA or Amazon, not the little
you don't want something
store
that's like
ones.
you don't want something that's flimsy, and the ones we're talking about have zips, like
Zippers,
you can close them, so you don't have to worry about them toppling over and like things falling out of them. They're very secure, like you can close them. They have handles, so you can like even put them on your back, whatever, on your shoulder, and carry them with you. So they're honestly very, very, very practical. So yeah, I do
the same thing too. I have a couple of bins for things that are not that I can't squish, like my baby booties, for example. I can't squish them.
Yeah.
So I bring the bins for that, and then I use the bins, if I need to put something on top, or I use it as a little like station to wrap the things.
Yeah.
But it's usually like 2 or 3 bins, or sometimes even less, and then just the bags. It's such a game changer. It's crazy how I didn't think about this before, and I remember me just having so many freaking bins. It's crazy.
I remember the first few markets I've done with you, where it was like bins after bins after bins, and we were struggling to fit them on the table, and we had to like empty one bin and another bin so that we can have space to put like the bins into each other so that they would fit under the table.
Yeah, it was ridiculous. I don't know why I didn't think about bags before. I think I seen you with your stuffies once in a bag, and I was like,
yeah, because I had no choice but to do bags because my car is so small. Bins just didn't fit. I could bring 2 bins.
I know.
That's all I could bring.
And I was like, excuse me, why didn't you share that information with me before? You, the queen of the bags, and like I'm getting every single bag that you buy. Why didn't you share that like vital information with me?
I didn't think about it until I saw you with your bags, and I was like, oh yeah, I should have told you that. But hey, you got that.
Yeah, I got them, and they're great. I love them.
Yes.
Okay, so that's for bringing your bags and stuff like that. And now you also need to make sure you have some sort of bag to give your products to your customers.
Yes. Most people, I found, don't necessarily ask for a bag. But it's really nice when, especially if it's a bigger market, when you can offer them a bag. Most people will say, no, it's okay. But some people actually enjoy having a bag so that they can keep shopping kind of somewhat hands-free. And so having a, shopper's bag that you can give to your customer, and whether that's like, recycled bags that, you got randomly, or if you want to do it really on brand and get some bags with your logo, whether that's like plastic bags that you can buy for cheap online, or whether you want to do like paper bags and stamp them, like whatever the case may be.
What do you do?
I do paper bags with a stamp.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I bought back in the day, like years and years ago, biodegradable. How do you say that?
Yeah, biodegradable.
Biodegradable bags. But they, of course, they look like plastic, but they're biodegradable. Like they are good for the environment.
Yeah,
I guess.
Good.
But sometimes people are still a little bit skeptical about the plastic one, and I have to tell them, no, it's biodegradable. It's okay.
Yeah.
But I want to do paper, but I want to get rid of the ones I have already. I don't want to just be like, I'm gonna get the paper ones and I still have a thing full of the plastic ones.
No, for sure. I think
like, plastic.
Pros and cons, the plastic ones shittier for the environment, whether they're biodegradable or not. It's not as ideal.
Yeah.
But they take so much less room than the paper bags. The paper bag takes so much more room. So honestly, that's their biggest downfall. They're super nice looking. And also like you kind of have to get a good brand of them, or like one with good reviews, because a bunch of paper bags have issues with like the handles falling out.
Yeah.
If you put too much.
Yeah.
So that's annoying. And also like it's easier to get bigger plastic bags than it is to get bigger paper bags. Like I have to find bigger paper bags for mine, or I was considering just getting plastic for the bigger ones.
Yeah.
Because like my big snugglers don't fit into
yeah.
the bags that I have. And so that's something to look and think through. And having various size of bags is also another great thing that we can mention, because depending on what you're selling, obviously, but if you're selling like pom-poms and scrunchies, you don't need a big bag. If you're selling, snugglers that are like, whatever, 2.5 feet high, or whatever, how tall they are, then you need bigger bags, or, and you need to have the option, if someone's buying multiple items, to have a bigger bag for them. So
that's why I like the biodegradable ones.
Yeah.
And they're a little bit better than the regular plastic.
Yeah, for sure.
But you have to think too that most people have their own bags if they're going to a big market and they're planning on buying something, because most people will go to these kind of markets with that intention of buying something.
What do you mean?
I know.
Of course.
They would probably have their own bags or backpacks or whatever.
And personally, like as a shopper, I always bring my own bag.
Yeah, me too. I don't want to be million bags.
Well, yeah, and that's the thing, is the million bag is the big issue. Yeah. I don't want to be, obviously to save cost, people will give you the smallest bag that your item fits in. So you have these tiny little paper bags and everything, and it's all like small handle. It's not like a bunch of big handles you can shove on your arm and hold, And so I'll often do my own recyclable, like a reusable bag, and so that I can avoid that. But I'm a sucker for a nice bag.
Yeah, for sure.
Like even when I go at the mall, I'll bring my reusable bag to use. But then if I go to certain places where they give you like reusable bags, like Lululemon.
Yeah, I know.
I'm like, oh no, I'll take a bag.
Yeah.
Do not, never mind. My bag on my shoulder is full. It's not, but I'll take a bag.
It's full. Meanwhile, the thing is empty, like flopping around.
Literally. But no, listen, I use them, so we all know how it is. If you use yarn, you have reusable bags with half finished projects, with yarn, with everything everywhere. And so they're needed. But yes, so bags is something that you might not have thought of, but it's something that you should think of and figure out in the days leading up to your market.
Please don't forget your business cards.
Yes, we mentioned that in a previous episode. If you haven't gotten them yet, it's very important that you do. I honestly didn't think it would make much of a difference. And I kind of assumed that people that would take a business card would kind of forget about it. But I've had a bunch of people like that followed me on Instagram after a market because they got my card, and orders after the fact too. Like they didn't have the money on the day of, or they weren't ready, or they needed to they wanted to show it to someone. Yeah. And so business cards, guys, get big business cards.
Also, don't forget to charge your Square and your phone and pack, and have your external battery pack also charged.
Yes.
Charge all the things the day before. Please do not forget. Very important.
The most important.
Yeah. Make sure your Square is paired to your phone. We said that before too, but it's super important to mention that because sometimes it can be a little bit finicky, and then you get to the market, you turn everything on and it's just not paired, and you're freaking out because the customer is waiting, and you don't want that to happen. So make sure you have
and that. If you're using like a Square or something for the first time, what?
Oh my gosh, I just realized that because I got in the market,
you have to order that thing.
I have to order that thing. Oh, it's exciting. Okay, I have so many things to buy. Oh my gosh, where am I gonna get all this money? Anyways.
But yes, like I was saying,
sorry, I just
it's all good. If you're using Square for the first time, like then he was saying, you have to pair it on your phone. But if you also want to keep track of your sales and everything, you can input your items with as little or as much precision as you want. Like you could have adult hat and then one set price, or you could have this model adult hat with this price and that model with that price, or you can even go like as detailed as you want with like colors and create SKUs and whatever. So set that up before your market too, because on the day of is not where you want to start doing that. You want to do that ahead of time so that when customers come, you can just click and you're ready to go. So definitely have everything charged, have everything prepped. And then the last tip, I think, is to going back to the Square thing, also get cash.
Yes.
Get some change. Not everyone's going to have change. get some change.
So if it's, sorry to cut you off, but if it's a Sunday, make sure you go on Friday to the bank to get some change.
Yes, because, I mean, you can always go to the ATM, but they're not going to give you...
They're going to give you coins or fives or...
Yeah.
Well, some of them do.
Yeah, my bank allows me to pick what I want.
Yeah, some of them, yeah.
Provided that there's some in the ATM, but
not all of them.
Not all of them, and no coins. So you make sure you get them. Or another option, if you're like stuck last minute, it's on a Sunday or whatever, you can always go to a corner store.
Yeah.
And ask for change. They will often do it for you. But that's something to think of and to do ahead of time. And then the final and perhaps the most important tip of all, pack your car the night before.
If possible,
yes,
pack it the night before. You guys have no idea how many times I have packed in the morning and I get to the market and I'm forgetting something.
Yes, because in the morning you're frazzled, you're thinking about everything, you're nervous, you're excited, all of these things are going on.
And now with the kids, forget it. I could never pack in the morning. I have to do everything at night when they are asleep because that's just peace and quiet. And like I said, because I pack my car, because I pack my car at night, in the morning, I will find 2 or 3 things that I was forgetting.
Yes.
Like 100%, I'm going to find something. Oh, the chair. Here's a chair.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, my tablecloths are still in the dryer. Get the tablecloth. And like so many little details, it's ridiculous.
Yeah.
That if I were to pack in the morning, I would be screwed.
You would forget about them.
Oh, yeah.
So yes, it gives you like that rested next morning, like, oh yeah, and I didn't grab that.
Yeah.
And just going back to, we were talking about have everything charged, have your phone charged. If you're using like battery operated lights, have extra batteries.
Yeah.
Have extra of anything that you might need to provide power of some kind.
Oh my gosh, yes.
Because you're going to regret it if you don't. And your lights might work fine for a few markets, and then boom, one market you'll have one string go out, and then like it's not a big deal. It's not the end of the world, but it's a little annoyance that if you can avoid, then
avoid it. So yeah, I think that is everything for the before the market. Just basically make sure you have everything, make a list, pack the car before, and check that you have every single item.
Yes.
And
charge everything.
Mm-hmm. And packing the car before will also allow you the next morning to be just rested and have your morning coffee if you're a coffee person, or if you're like not, have your tea morning.
Yes.
Morning tea, morning tea, and a nice breakfast. And you also don't have to wake up like 2 hours before to pack.
To do all that, yes.
Yeah. So yeah, I hope these tips were helpful for everyone.
If you're listening on YouTube, please leave us a comment, questions that you may have or anything. If you're listening anywhere else, please leave us a 5-star review, as that helps us a lot get extra views.
Mm-hmm.
And if you have a question, if you want to spill some tea, if you have a story, anything you want to chat about, you can always email us at
dropastitchpodcast@gmail.com.
And that's today's episode.
I hope you guys enjoyed, and we'll talk to you soon.
Talk to you next week.
Bye.
Bye.